Another question on Ask the First Selectman today. This is from Kathy, who writes, I know I've previously asked this question, but what can be done to curtail people running red lights? She said there was another accident this morning at Leroy and West when a car ran a red light and collided with a vehicle on West Avenue. And she says, when I mentioned that vehicles frequently run red lights at the intersection to a police officer who was responding to the call, the officer said, contact town hall. And she asks, could red light cameras be installed in Darien, as there are in other towns, to identify vehicles and drivers and remind them of their responsibilities to adhere to motor vehicle rules and the consequences if they don't? John?
Thanks for that question. There's no easy answer to traffic enforcement like that. We, as a society, have been trying to enforce better driving, better rule following for a very long time, and it's not something where you can simply snap your fingers and get that sort of seamless 100% compliance with no trouble. I actually come from from Texas, and I lived there for a number of years where they used red light cameras at various intersections. And the funny thing is that in many cases it created more problems. So, for example, if you come up to a red light, and we've all done this, where you see there's a red light, but you can turn right on red. You glance up at the red light, you look to your left, there's nobody in the intersection and no one coming. It's pretty rare that you're going to come to a complete stop and then make the right turn. We've all been guilty of doing a rolling stop like that. Well, a red light camera is going to pick that up, and so you could get a ticket for that. But what's worse is someone could be behind you expecting that you're going to go forward and make that right turn, that when you suddenly realize there's a camera and you come to a quick stop. In this particular case, there were a number of accidents at the intersection because people were coming to a stop unexpectedly, trying to protect themselves from getting a ticket with the red light camera. So perversely, putting in the camera solved one set of problems, but created other problems. In addition, I still think a problem people have with getting automated tickets sent to them without actually having a chance to explain to an officer what's happened with the alleged infraction. And so I I don't think that as a town we'll be going down the path of installing automated enforcement for either speed cameras or red light cameras. The rules around that are pretty strict in terms of not just the circumstances that they're permitted. So, for example, we can't have speed cameras installed unless we demonstrate that that particular area is not just prone to accidents, but has a track record of accidents. And there's a big process that's required to go through to prove that. I still think that the best way is to produce a video like this and say to everyone that, look, traffic safety is important, and those rules are in place for a reason, which is to promote safety and well-being of all drivers on our roads. And so I think what we should do as a town is to reinforce that messaging, provide support to our professional police staff and police force and the enforcement of all this. I know that they are currently operating under a grant from the state to do increased traffic enforcement this summer. I'm not sure where the grant stands right now and whether it's run out, but that provided overtime for police officers to ramp up their enforcement of traffic rules and regulations. So kind of a long-winded answer. I'll summarize by saying I don't think we're in a position right now to go with automated enforcement of either stoplights or speed zones. I do think we probably need to do more to reinforce the importance of following our traffic rules and the safety that it provides for all of our residents, not just those in vehicles, but folks on bikes and who are pedestrians. So thank you for that question. And please, everybody, be safe and really give it a thought in terms of what you could do better to comply with our traffic rules.
If you have a question for our first selectman, just send it along to us. Just send it to DarienTV at DarienCT.gov.